Hiya, hiya, hiya. Hiya,
So
hoya, hiya.
here's a joke. How you doing? April Fool's Day. Bye. We'll see you later. No, not
You
funny.
would pull something like that, wouldn't you?
There's no show tonight.
Here you go. How about that for a share?
About what for what?
Look at that doll.
Hold on a second. I'm kind of sharing. I don't have two screens open.
Hmm. I don't know
Kind of
about you
being,
some days.
I'm kind of being lazy.
No,
Get the hell with.
there's no kind of with you.
Oh my God! They made a doll that looks just like you.
Uh huh. Looks like you a lot.
All it needs is the glasses.
But these are
So is that
these are
what your
crochet.
is that your like Hellspawn doll?
That could be. These are crochet dolls.
I see that. Oh, it's Chucky. That one looked like Chucky.
A little. But these are dolls from T. Krulos's Weird Week. T's Weird Week.
Yeah,
He had that posted.
he finds some pretty weird shit, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I agree. He does. So,
Anyway, April Fool's Day. Yeah.
yep, April Fool's Day. And now I can't find
Yeah.
that damn
I
picture I
think
was seeing earlier.
I think it should have been canceled anyway. So
What, April Fool's Day? Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's too much bullshit going on in the world. You can't make fun of anything anymore.
No, you get slapped.
I think that might have been too soon.
I don't know. Could have been.
There's a lot of controversy about that one.
I know.
I've been reading it. I mean, there's a lot of people supporting Will Smith for defending his wife because she's got that condition. And then there's other people
Yeah.
defending Chris Rock and saying that he should have been forcibly removed even when he said he wasn't going to leave when he got asked to leave the Oscars that night or whatever that was. And yeah, it's going both ways. I've seen a lot of both, and I mean, I can definitely see both sides to the story. I mean, you got Will Smith defending his wife, but yet at the same time, there was better ways he could have handled it than to go up there and slap Chris Rock in the mouth. And at the same time, Will Smith of all people should know what it's like to be a comedian
Yeah.
and have to come up with new material on the fly, especially when you're a presenter at a big event like that. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, they actually got video of him laughing before it happened, or as it happened, right as
Well,
it
they're
happened.
trying to explain that away as nervous laughing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think it was he was
Yeah.
laughing because he thought it was funny until he saw the look on her face,
On Jaden's face. Yes.
right? And then yeah, he snapped. Okay, but there were better ways he could have handled that.
I agree. There's a lot better ways he could have handled that.
I mean, Chris Rock may not have even known that she had a condition,
Bullshit. He
but
didn't know. He didn't know.
as popular as she is, exactly. I was just going to say, as popular as she is, and how their lives are in the media so much, it's hard not to know. Because the minute that she was out there, with her head being shaved bald or whatever, people are going to ask questions and reporters are going to come up with stories and it's all going to be out there. And yeah, it's going to be
Mhm.
hard not to miss. Unless you're a hermit like me, I don't pay too much attention. I mean, I'm like some of those other people. Hell, the only reason I knew that the Oscars even happened was because it was all over the news that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. That's the only reason I knew the Oscars even happened, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even watch the Oscars anymore.
I'm gonna watch something later tonight. I know you don't watch wrestling much anymore, but this is WrestleMania weekend. Okay.
Yeah, I don't watch that stuff.
And tonight they're doing just like they do every tradition before the WrestleMania happens, and this year's a two-night event. So tonight they're after SmackDown they're doing the Hall of Fame, the induction to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're inducting, and I wonder if there's going to be any drama about this one tonight. They're inducting somebody that should have been inducted a long time ago. But if his ego and he's still on the steroids and his ego's still up there and he's still acting like the big pampa ass that he was, I'm not so sure it's going to be a good event. But they're inducting the Steiner brothers. Back in the day when it was Scott and Rick Steiner.
Yeah.
Right? That is that what they were? Scott and Rick Steiner. They were like University of Minnesota wrestling champions and all of this before they came to wrestling. They were amateur wrestlers, right? They had a background. You know, they were a great tag team. Everybody knew who they were. And then all of a sudden something happens, and the next thing you know, a couple years later, you see this guy, blonde hair now, big Papa Pump, about 3 times the size that he was. We all know how that happened,
Uh-huh.
you know. And then he turns into an egomaniac. You know, I'm wondering how well that's going to go tonight. You know,
All right. Please don't poop in the rocks. We can't believe we had to make this sign.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, think about it. Some of those signs you see out there, somebody must have, did what that sign said not to do in order
Yeah.
for that sign to be made
That's
and put in that
exactly
place.
that's exactly it.
Or like it's just, and you think about it, some of those signs you think about should just be common sense. You know,
Yes, I do know.
I've seen
So
people post some pretty stupid fucking signs out there, and I tell you, Wisconsin's got their share.
I've seen just stupid people out there.
Yeah, duct tape can't fix those kind of stupid though.
Duct tape can't fix everything, but it sure is fun to try.
And if they could just invent a duct tape that could fix stupid, this whole world might be a better place. Anyway,
That would be good.
anyway, Mother Nature needs to get off her bipolar ass and get back on her fucking meds. This fucking weather's killing me. Um, I want to get out in a bad way. Um,
Yeah.
and if it keeps raining like this, getting back to Lee Hample's farm is going to be a bitch because there's going to be probably plenty of flooding going on there right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
So I've got plans. We got to get together and make plans because there's places I want to go this year that we didn't get to last year. One, because of our Iowa trip got all messed up. We got to contact that guy. We got to get out on that paddle boat, get out on on Lake Pepin and the Mississippi River and do some filming out there. And then I've discovered a few other cool places that I've never heard of and thought they'd be cool as hell to just check out.
Yeah, what's places?
I can't remember right offhand. I'll find them though. I got them saved on, Facebook. You can save them. And then there was that place. We got to check into that place. That's not too far from here. That the plumber dude was telling me about. The hotel
Oh, Mayville.
in Mayville. Yeah, that's it. The hotel in Mayville.
Yeah.
He was telling me how his buddies own that, and they were telling him about how active, stuff was moving around when nobody's there and nobody's looking. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Take over.
For what? What do you do now? What did you break now? What?
Somebody had their hand up over here, and then she was telling me, hold on, tell me now. Hold on. She's going to tell us something. Wait, you got to hear this. Tell us something. Tell it.
Waukesha Huber Center. Used to be an old insane asylum.
Waukesha drunk tank?
No, not a drunk tank. It's the Huber Center.
Drunk tank.
A couple people that I work with are there right now, and there's some activity out there.
They're there right now doing an investigation, or they're there right now being Hubered?
I think
they're right now in Huber.
They're in the drunk tank.
Whatever. But yeah.
The chances of that are probably slim to none.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
I wanted to bring this up though, Joe, because Mary Lou went through the trouble of getting it to me.
The what?
The trouble of, or I don't know if it's trouble. She went through what she had to get it to me.
Oh.
And I think it's something that should be brought up, and I'm hoping that the paranormal community out there will actually help with this. Currently, there's a family business, that's been in business for, what did I say it was? Like 70, 80 years, something like that. It's a four decades. Four generations. Okay, 40 years.
Four family generations.
4 family generations. Okay.
That's what it was. 4 family generations.
It's the Parapsychology Foundation. A 4-generation dynasty is fighting for its future right now. They have all this information on the parapsychology, on the paranormal. They've got damn it, I hate that. They've got
journals, texts,
books, journals, videos, 600 videos that are of like different information and stuff. And the building that they're in, it's getting bought, and they're getting kicked out because they've been in the same place for 17 years, and they're not sure what they can do about it. The lady is 71 years old. Her name is Lisette Coley. It's Coly. And her daughter of 32 years is Anastasia Damalis. And the Parapsychology Foundation is in Greenport, New York, which is on Long Island. And I would absolutely hate to see all this beautiful information and history be lost just because of some tool that wants to take and do what they're going to do to the building. Most likely they're going to either renovate it into like condos, Richie condos or something, and But I don't know. It's just I wanted to say something about it because it's something that touched me a little bit, and I just wish there was more I could do. Best I could do is do what I'm doing now and share it on all the channels that I'm on. Hey, thank you. Ah, look at that. Leave it to Joseph. But yeah, I believe those are pictures of the woman's mother.
It's from
There's that picture.
there's the top of the article you're talking about.
Yep,
The family
that's
business,
the picture that was
fourth
that I was trying to
generation.
show you earlier.
Yes, right. I just found it.
Yep,
And these are pictures from some of the archives that they have there.
yep. I think
And it's
those
been
might be.
nonprofit all these years.
Yeah, they're nonprofit, and they would do tours by setting them up. You'd set up times to do tours and come in and check stuff out, and they have so much, and it does because of the fact that I've re-embraced my Wicca, and it has because of re-embracing it, it's helped me out with getting my life back on track. And I know that this is a real thing. The paranormal that we do, and it just breaks my heart that there's not more I can do to help. But but I was hoping that maybe if this got out to the right people and the paranormal societies and the paranormal community that we're all involved in, that maybe we could all pull together somehow, and if not help them stay in the building, but help them move everything to a safer, better location.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the two great ladies that we have talked to and have any ideas on how to help, but Miss Christy Sumner, Dr. Christy Sumner, and Miss Miranda Young, the ones that got together and saved the Scott County Jail, and Dr. Christy Sumner's behind helping save the Ma Barker house. So
Yeah, I still got to get out. We still got to get out there to see that.
I'd love to. I'd absolutely love to.
Just because of the mob history behind that.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
one of the most notorious and infamous gunfights of that period of time.
Yeah.
The 20s and 30s.
But if anybody in that views this, if they feel like they can, if they know anybody that they can actually talk to, see if there's anything that we can possibly do, because I would absolutely hate to see that amount of paranormal history go to waste just because of somebody's greed.
Yeah, I mean, it looks looks
well,
like
that one picture you showed, that's their library. That's part of their library.
They had somebody, from what I just skimmed through the whole article. I didn't read it all, but they had somebody.
I didn't get to read it all either. So
they had somebody writing checks to them every month until she passed away in like 77.
Yeah.
And then they maintained it and been struggling. And then the one, like you said, her mother passed away, and now it's the daughter running it. And she's, been struggling to keep it, because, they may only get a few visitors a month, but people are coming there to find what they believe is maybe looking for paranormal answers or answers to paranormal questions. And
exactly,
they come there because it's one of the largest in the country.
It's one of the it's a collection that has been put together. Just it's a phenomenal collection. Yeah, it's
for
4
generations.
generations.
That's a long fucking time.
Yes, it is.
And there's a lot of shit there, that can't be lost. I mean, they either need to be moved to a location where
I think if we
they
it,
can not have to pay rent on or something. Maybe they need
it would
a
be awesome.
fundraiser to
Right.
help them raise some money.
It would be
Uh,
awesome if it was possible to just kind of just
you
get
know,
the because I mean look at this. So we're on social media. Okay, there are so many groups out there that we that my personal page has signed up with, that our page here has signed up with, that the people that do like to watch us and come in and say hi every now and then, they have probably other groups that they've signed up with. We are connected through this social media, and it would be awesome if we could all just
yeah, and
somehow get
you
together
can
and
easily
help
look it
these.
up because I
You know,
did. All you had to do to look this place up, it's very easy to look up the story, find the place, find the address of it, so you can maybe contact them to see what you can do to help. We don't know nothing. Mark just
no, this was
somehow
dropped in my lap. I didn't even
somehow
know anything about this.
somehow Mark, through a contact he has from his driving for a living, um, and wasn't that a contact from like the past job, you know?
Yes. No, no, not just a past job. It's someone I've been in contact with for like the
Well,
last
yeah,
12 years.
because of one of your past jobs you
It's
started
just
with.
someone.
But
It's
anyway,
someone that I have come to own because I'm always well, that was weird because I'm always you know I was
so anyway,
always
so
there
this
with
article
the
came to you through
place.
this person you knew from back in the day,
Yeah,
and we've looked it up, verified the story, and it exists. So contact them.
yeah.
All you got to
So
do
if
is
it's
like I was
possible,
saying, all you got to do, because here's how I did it. I looked up Parapsychology Foundation, New York. That's all you have to do. And
yeah,
it's going to be on the top of the list pretty much. Not that hard to find, and the story's there, the story's real. They got, I mean, they've even got research on people that were like doing research on ESP, if you believe in that.
hmm
I mean, like I said, and like I've always said since we've started this, and anything's possible, but you can't lose that history and that research. That would be such
yeah.
a waste.
That I really,
I mean, what are we doing? I mean, we see progress happen every day. Progress happens all the time. Okay. But
yeah.
instead of tearing down some of these historical monuments, you know, um, buildings that's been here since the 1700s or the 1800s, and they're like an historical landmark, like, you know, Madison wasn't the
hmm
first capital in Wisconsin. It was actually someplace else. Um, but some of those buildings still exist. But why not just tear down the old empty fucking strip malls if you want to rebuild?
Yeah, exactly. Don't
You
don't tear
know,
down. Don't just tear down the buildings that have history to them. You kind of. It'd
if
be
they look,
nice to be able to
some of
just
them look
restore them.
ugly and stuff like that because they're trying to keep it in its original state. I know it's not easy to do, but you know, some of these places have got some history. You know, I don't know. I don't think it's right when they've got all these empty strip malls laying around that they could just sit there and and just demolish and build at will there, or
Yeah, I know.
I mean that I mean when they were back in the day when they were building the strip malls, that didn't make fucking sense either. Oh, we're gonna build a strip mall right across the street from another strip mall, you know. But yet when they built the
Hmm.
new one that's right across the street from the old one, that new one stays empty for years before it even gets leased. You know, perfect example. There was one over by Southtown Mall. Southtown Mall used to be a nice mall, right? At one time.
Yes,
Okay. They
used to
built
be.
a strip mall right across the street from it, a little tiny strip mall. That stayed pretty much empty except for like a little hair salon type place that was in like one of the corner shops. But it had like, it was a strip mall that had a parking lot and like 6 different shops set up in it already, that you could, you know,
Hmm.
6 different, and it only had the one. All the other spots stayed empty except that one for many years. What was the fucking sense of building a fucking strip mall?
Don't know.
Most of the people were leasing the space that was either inside the Southtown Mall or the little strip mall that was in Southtown Mall's parking lot. You know, made more
Yeah.
sense, a lot more traffic there. But you go on the other side of Broadway, go down the little frontage road, and there was a little blue and white strip mall there. It didn't make sense,
No.
but that's how
It
people,
very rarely does.
it happens all over. I mean, Tanya and I went to that one in Milwaukee, the Grand Avenue Mall. Boy, was I fucking
I'm
disappointed.
surprised you didn't go to the Mayfair Mall.
I was so fucking disappointed. All right. I went back and oh shit. First time I went to the Grand Avenue Mall in Milwaukee was like 2019. No, 1999. That's it was about 1999 or
And you dressed like Prince and walked around.
no, maybe it was no, it was before the no, it was before 95 because it was before the leukemia. Anyway, and that place was packed with shops.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the time that I was there and I saw the Pinkerton guards walking around with so this was like 1991ish because I was still a Pinkerton
Yeah.
guard. I saw the Pinkerton guards walking around in nice white cotton shirts, okay, and so on and so forth, right? I got talking to
Yeah.
one of them because I identified myself as an officer for Pinkerton from Madison, right? Well, they didn't.
Hmm.
They had an office that they answered directly to right there in Milwaukee. They didn't have to answer to Rock County, you know, or Rockford, Illinois. Yeah, that's it, Rockford, Illinois.
Yeah.
Madison had to answer to Rockford, Illinois. Our shirts were polyester, and them motherfuckers itched. Okay, they got paid twice as much for patrolling that mall than I did for working at Railvac and the Central Storage Warehouse fire.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah, they got twice as much an hour, and they got paid overtime.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
but
crazy.
but the whole thing about that Milwaukee Mall back then in the '90s, that place was packed with shops, all kinds of cool, unique shops. You know, here you go back 10, 15, 20 years later almost, and the place is like a ghost town. Hardly anything in it anymore. Worth a damn.
Yeah.
practically empty. I'd hate to see what Easttown. Have you been in Easttown or Westtown lately
No,
in the last couple of years? I don't think I have either.
no,
Easttown or Westtown. Was it?
I haven't been in either one for
No,
quite
that
a
was
while.
two years ago. But they were going downhill then. Fucking Janesville Mall turned to shit too. You know, it's like all this online shopping's kind of destroyed the reason to go out and go shopping. I don't like online shopping for everything. You know, you can't
Yeah,
physically see what you're buying. You know,
right. No, yeah.
if it wasn't for you, I probably might not even be considering what you're sitting in right now, buying it from Amazon. You
Why?
know, because I couldn't physically look at it until I saw you have one. You know,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
your
I didn't get
gamer,
mine from Amazon. I got it. I got it actually at Staples.
well, whatever, but still,
Hmm.
I want one. I want a gamer's chair like that. I could really use
Well, it's
one
really not a
nowadays.
gamer's chair.
Yeah, well, I want the gamer's type chair. You know, I need it. I revitalized my Xbox. Oh.
Yeah.
But we need to go to we need to get together with I don't know if you want to come along or not, but um, Chris promised me a really cool tour of Milwaukee when it
Yeah.
got nicer outside, when the weather got nicer, when it got warm enough for me. Which means that includes the bronze statue.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The bronze.
And they just redid that too.
The fonts.
I'm
The bronze fonts.
it, geez. Yeah. I don't know how well I'm going to handle that one though. I've been wanting to see that for the longest time. I was a big fan. But unfortunately, when the truth comes out about
Yeah.
the actor that played the character, it just kind of blows the character. You know, it kind of destroys the image you had. I mean, Henry Winkler was nothing like the Fonz. He was more like that. He's more like that coach in The Waterboy
The Waterboy.
that he plays.
Yeah.
He was nothing like Fonzarelli. I don't understand why that. I mean, the character was like a role model growing up for me. I mean, Mork. I mean, when Mork, which is a spinoff, Mork,
Hmm.
Mork and Mindy. When Robin Williams played Mork, at least Robin Williams was kind of like that character because he loved to do those voices and make people laugh.
Yeah.
That was his thing. But you would think that a little bit of Henry Winkler would have been in the Fonz. And it only came out when, like, those episodes, like when Fonzie was blind and couldn't see, or, something like that, where he was put in a very vulnerable situation.
Right.
Uh-oh. The
Yeah.
guy probably, that guy probably never rode a bike in his life. They probably had that thing probably fucking trailered.
You
I'm,
never know.
I'm sorry. I want to see the statue. I want to get my picture taken with the statue, but at the same time, it kind of sucks because you know what the actor was really like.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if it's better to find out sometimes that the guy turns out to be an old pervert and asshole or whatever, or conceited asshat or whatever, conceited perverted asshat. But yet, at least he was still kind of cool in the movie, so it all makes sense. He had an ego in the fucking Smokey and the Bandit movies. He had an ego in real life. That's why nothing really worked with those women like Sally Fields and Lonnie Anderson. And I'm on a rant. I shouldn't be on a rant, but there's places I want to go. And Chris, our buddy Chris, said that there's some really cool things that not many people know about Milwaukee, and I'd like to know some of those cool things. I know a lot of those cool
Yeah.
things about Madison, you know, and we have still yet to visit some of those places in Madison. I think I've solved the mystery to our lake monster in Mendota, though. I'm pretty sure that's like a sturgeon or something that people are seeing that just got, you know, oversized or something because nobody ever caught it, you know,
Yeah.
because they can live
I
a
know.
pretty long time, if I'm not mistaken, you know.
Sturgeons can live a hell of a long time.
Right. So longer they live, bigger they can grow. You know, you got a pretty big environment being in Lake Mendota, being the deepest and the biggest one in the Madison area. And you see something that looks that prehistoric, you're going to think lake monster too. The only thing I can think of that can be in that lake. But Pepe, on the other hand, the one I want to get back to,
Yeah.
I think there's something there.
Possible.
There's
Very possible.
more stories about Pepe than there is about Bozo there in Lake Mendota.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Pepe has stories that have come out in the Scotland news and the Scotland paranormal community have talked about our version of Loch Ness that's been found in Lake Pepin. Okay. Now, the reason that one's believable is because that there is one of those four lakes that are part of the Mississippi River at that point. And it's the biggest one and the deepest one on the Mississippi River, which has a direct access to the ocean. You know, very possible something could be there. And I don't think that they've actually been able to document all the caves yet around there that could possibly be underground. And Mendota is one of those what do you call it, like glacier made lakes. It's not,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not directly. I mean, I know it's connected to. You can go from Mendota to Monona to Kaganza and Wabisa. I think you can get to all of those lakes via some channels. They're all connected somehow.
Yes, you can.
Okay. But I don't think you can directly get down into the oceans or anything from any of those lakes around Madison.
No.
And nothing big enough, even if there was a river, I don't think there's a river big enough that could support something as big as supposedly being seen in Mendota. That's why I believe
Mm-hmm.
Mendota is just a sturgeon. and because of its prehistoric looks and the size that they can grow to,
Well,
it just makes more sense.
here you go. Since you're talking about lakes and channels and being connected to the ocean, boom.
Yeah, that. Well, there's another thing. But see, that's possible. You just said that was possible because of the fact that,
Well,
all right,
there's also people that have been commenting on this too. Okay,
all right,
this is in Up North News. Okay, Up North News is it's a legitimate
yeah, I get it. It's a
it's
legitimate
a
news source.
legitimate news source. Okay,
But still, it's April 1st, and
it
legitimate
is
news
April
sources
1st.
have posted jokes before.
Yes, and that is true. So in the comments, I'm looking at some of the comments. One of the first comments reads, "April Fools to all." And then somebody's like, "Isn't that the Loch Ness Monster?" And then this other person says, "I'm glad they are coming back. The use of whale oil for lighthouses around the Great Lakes decimated the freshwater pods of whales. They survived in the Lake Michigan no fishing zone in deep water by day. Truly a miracle of species survival."
So it's not uncommon,
Well, and then
according to that comment.
you got people commenting back on him saying, April Fools, I filled the freshwater
All right,
well
so
extinction because
all right, let's
oil is
break
used.
this down though. You think about it,
But it
direct access
is
to the ocean,
plausible. It is plausible. And the
right?
reason I
Direct
say that,
access to the ocean. Whales are mammals,
yes, they are
so I'm
mammals.
sure they can adapt from freshwater to saltwater pretty easily because they breathe oxygen. They have to come up for air no matter where they are.
Right. But the main thing is there enough of their food source to
Yeah,
support them?
I believe it. I believe so.
So you'd have now that picture that I brought up here, that is actually a picture
Okay,
of a blue whale.
I get it, but let's say same difference, but here's a fact. This is fact. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
if there's enough food source for a whale, that's the question you just asked, right? If there's enough
Right,
food source in
right.
it, all right.
Now you also got to realize what you got to like figure out what do they eat and is it present within the Great Lakes.
Well, I'm thinking they probably eat things like smaller fish
I'm not sure if they eat smaller fish. I know they eat
or
krill and
shrimp.
shrimp.
Yeah, right.
Now, does the Great Lakes have a freshwater supply of, or a supply of freshwater shrimp or crustaceans like that?
I'm sure they do. All right, now here's the other thing. There's enough. All right, think about the rivers. Now this is fact. Think about the rivers and stuff around the areas that have seen the bull sharks. Got to be enough food supply for them.
Well, they they
I know they can survive both. We all know that. That's fact.
they eat fish
Right,
or meat.
right. But still, see, plenty of food supply for them. And I'm sure there's plenty of shrimp out there in the Great Lakes too. Crabs, whatever else, maybe plankton. You know, it's sea life.
Right?
You know, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of versions
Well,
of, plenty of places that have shrimp or shrimp like. I believe it's possible. I I truly believe it's possible that a whale could be up in the Great Lakes.
okay. Well, there are freshwater crustaceans like you know. In fact, it says right here that what I typed in what crustaceans, let's see, the deep waters, however, are the realm of some organisms that are found only in the deep, cold lakes of the northern latitudes. These include the delicate opossum shrimp, the deep water scud, crustacean, two types of copepods, and the deep water sculpin, a spiny, large-headed fish. And
So there you go. Got plenty of food supply.
yeah,
You know, it's like with anything else. When you think about the cryptids, and people wonder about those too.
hmm
You got to say, okay, where they're spotted. What do you see some of those investigators do? Is there plenty of a food supply around here
yeah, that's
for
one of the first
to
things you
support
gotta.
that? You think
It's one of
about
the
that
first things
here.
you gotta do
Well,
is look and see if that's it.
you think about that here. People, we, it's all theories when it comes to the paranormal world.
hmm
Bigfoot, we don't know what it eats.
No,
Nobody's been able to find one and ask it what it eats. you know, I mean, but they assume because of the way that they've found deer in the past where the bones have been not just broken, but twisted off, you know,
yeah, like what Lee had.
right. You know, so if deer is like one of their main course, you got to go. Okay, is there enough deer in this environment to sustain, maybe a family of Bigfoots? Well, here in Wisconsin, in the Kettle Moraine Forest, yeah, as much as people hit deer around here, I'm almost positive there's enough to sustain a few Bigfoot or more. You know, I mean, you think about it. You gotta be smart and use some of that common
Yeah,
sense that God gave you when you were born. That common sense. You gotta learn to use it. You know, I mean, we go out. What's one of the things we could do? We thought about when we went down Bray Road. Well, there's a lot of things that can be misidentified for this here so easily. Driving down a dark road at night, no actual street lights. Uh, 2 miles, 2.5 miles long, out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. And then you see something eating roadkill. Mind can play tricks on you, especially if you're alone at night. You know, we all know that. You're tired, driving alone, listening to the radio, getting into the song, and then you see something. A lot of misidentification. But I wouldn't freak out over a raccoon and say that I saw the beast of Bray Road either. We won't say who said that or saw that and did that, but you know,
yeah,
they know who they are. Anyway, so I could see somebody easily identifying, misidentifying a wolf or a coyote, which would be the most plausible to see out there in that area, because the wolves in this area haven't gotten that
hmm
far south yet, but coyotes are everywhere, you know. But then, from what we've seen and heard, when we get to this property later, yeah,
yeah,
a lot of difference. I don't think a coyote done half that stuff. I don't think a coyote made those prints. You know, I don't think a coyote could wedge a deer in between those trees like it did. You know, yeah, something bigger. But then there's people that believe that this one, here's something that's unbelievable. People don't believe exists, but then there's a video that they say exists. and I've seen the video, and it, you know, nowadays it's hard to tell sometimes unless you're a fucking expert if it's fake or not. But the dire wolf,
Right.
the dire wolf.
Well,
Now,
the dire wolf supposedly did exist.
yeah, it was a real thing. All right, and it's probably about 3 times the normal size, 3 times the size of a normal sized wolf. Okay. Now, that could be possible, but they say that that went extinct a long fucking time ago. Okay. Now, things find a way. They always do. But what if it's like not just that? What if people are seeing a hybrid?
Possible.
You know, or what's to say? Now here's another conspiracy. Since we're, this is a nice one. This is a good one. What's that island? What's that island where they were doing experiments on animals and stuff? Isn't it like off the coast of Florida or
Yes.
something
No.
and
No.
down in
No.
that
No.
area?
No. 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 It's up in New York.
Oh, okay. Anyway, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What's it called? Do you
I
remember?
can't. No, I can't remember.
Um,
But check this out now. I'm still stuck on this up north news thing about the whales. I found sites here that are actually saying that there are whales in the Great Lakes.
I'm not surprised. I think the Great Lakes can support them.
But they don't particularly live in the Great Lakes.
No, they just migrate there
It
once
says
in a while.
migration. Yeah, it says a migration. The Great Lakes is a fantastic place to observe the annual whale migration,
I've
according
never
to a
been.
Great Lakes whale watching charter boat site. Last year, almost 2,000 whales were reported traveling through the
I think
our
the
region.
biggest body of water that I've ever been close to is Michigan, Lake Michigan.
I went across
I
the
don't know.
little tip
Well,
of
hold on.
Superior.
Is Lake Michigan go up as far as what's the one up around Green Bay and Manitowoc area? Is that still Lake Michigan? I think that's Lake Michigan though that I was at. Where the
That is Photoshopped. I can tell that's Photoshopped.
anyway, the whole thing is I still believe that it's possible that whales could be in any of the Great Lakes. Isn't Lake Michigan a Great Lake?
Yes.
See, that's the only one I've been around, the closest one I've been around.
You got Lake Superior, Lake Michigan.
Right.
You got Lake Huron, Lake Erie. And I can't remember the other one.
And there are 5 or 6 of them, right?
There's 5. Superior is the biggest.
Isn't that where's Superior at?
The very top. Superior is the northernmost lake.
I don't know. I used to know that stuff back in high school. That was like one of my favorite subjects. I'd take you'd have to take like what do they call it, like a social studies class or something. So it was like either history or uh, uh, I just had the word. Geology? No. Studying the maps, like, the geography.
Geography, yeah.
That was like one of my favorite subjects. And I was good at it. Oregon offered some really cool classes when I went to Oregon. Bad. Geology is
I'm
fun.
not. I keep looking at these, and the biggest thing that's shown is these stories are showing up on April 1st.
Yeah. Well, I'm still
So
saying
now,
I think it's possible. I still think it's possible. But yeah, see, that's
well,
the
yeah,
thing.
they're
You
all
can't
all
you
the
can't
Great
go and
Lakes.
believe all them stories because a lot of them are happening and it's April 1st and people are still going to go and put out their fake stories.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
also the time where you're going to see, oh, here, you're going to see these. You're going to see um, um, Mark Roberts, creator of Two and a Half Men, passed away today, because,
No,
you
that
know,
would be Mike and Molly.
or whatever, either way, I mean, you see the fake deaths come across Facebook too, right around this time period.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know, I mean, if somebody wasn't so disconnected from the world right now and his friends and kind of burnt a lot of bridges, I'd be working up one of the biggest practical jokes in my life that I could think of pulling on the bastard because his birthday's on the 6th. So I usually started it, so it started on April Fool's Day and it went for 6 days.
Yeah.
And he got tormented all 6 days till his birthday. And he wouldn't know who was doing it, but after the first couple of years, he started catching on. But it's not worth my time anymore. Fucker can't call me back when I leave messages after, I don't know, I gave up. So,
Right.
oh, I got too much other shit to worry about, like where to go next. I do want to take that tour. I do want Chris to get together with Chris and take that tour of Milwaukee.
Oh hell yeah. Be fun.
I mean, I'd like to see. I mean, I've seen some cool shit already by being at Shaker's Bar. I mean, that place. I got to give them props for keeping that place um to the time period, not really changing it much, but
Yeah.
keeping it looking the same way and maintaining it. You know, um, just a few of the things that I've seen, just because we were down there in the right places at the right time. Like when we went to
Hmm.
Wisconsin Podcast Awards, at that Italian Workmen's Club thing. That building was just full of history,
Yeah.
you know. And then that was the first time I was that close to where they do Summerfest. Isn't that what that's called? Summerfest, that park that was right there next to the because you could see it. Remember when we were sitting in the parking lot?
Oh
I'd go out
yeah,
in the
yeah.
parking lot and smoke, and it was
That's Summerfest.
right. That was the Summerfest
Right.
grounds there. I've never been to Summerfest. I've been to the state fair, but I've never been to Summerfest. You know that I don't get that one, but you know, and they usually have pretty good music there.
Yeah.
But then we got to get, like I said, I want to get back out there to that Lake Pepin, the Milwaukee thing, Lake Pepin. If we can get back out and do some more filming out on Bray Road area, and maybe find some people to interview, that'd be cool. But there's other places, like you said, that place on the campus, place out at Mayfield, uh, a Huber Center that's still in operation, highly unlikely going to happen.
Oh, excuse me.
Law enforcement don't like to talk about paranormal. You know, very rarely will you find law enforcement willing to talk about anything paranormal, especially if it happens in one of their own buildings. You know,
Oh yeah. I know.
But that is kind of strange to take an old insane asylum and turn it into a Huber Center. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, could you just imagine you're sitting there, you're arrested in what was this, Waukesha? Is that what you said it was? Hey, Blondie, what was that, Waukesha Huber Center? So you get arrested in Waukesha, Huber, and you got to serve your time at the Huber Center there, which used to be an insane asylum. You're sitting there locked up in a cell at night, and all of a sudden you start hearing voices and seeing things and stuff like that. And mind you, these were probably old patients at an insane asylum, so they were probably crazy fuckers in the first place. Just imagine what is going on in that place.
Well, that's the thing.
And you know what? I'd hate to
Who's
be.
to say
I'd,
that that cell that you're locked up in isn't one of the old
well, they probably all are.
rooms? You know.
You know, you got to realize they probably remodeled it a bit to suit their purposes for a Huber Center, but still, doesn't matter. Remember, it could be the land, the building, anything left over there,
Mhm.
you know, and think about it. If if you have a prisoner, say, that's in Huber that may have done something that would offend one of those spirits, just think
Yeah.
of the havoc that spirit might cause. You know, guys in there for rape or something like that, or sexual assault, and you got a low charge, and you got put in the Huber Center, and you got some female or something that was raped most of her life. Then she went nuts and got locked up in the insane asylum. You don't think she's gonna fuck over that dude? You know?
Possibly.
Well, I would if I was in her shoes. Well, I would love to get in there, but I don't think the law enforcement would allow that.
Yep.
Not when not when it's all under, it's currently in operation right now. What were you gonna say?
Who, me? I wasn't gonna say anything.
No. Well, that could mean a lot of things.
Yes, it's a good.
So, but there's things we got to look into. You know, I mean, we got some invites. I can't remember what those invites were, but I'm sure we'll get them again soon. We'll get those contacts again soon. Um, what was it for, though? It was Dale said something about Illinois. Yeah, well, we've been trying to get that one set up most of last year and didn't work. And
What's that one?
Kettle Moraine Forest with Jay Hill.
Yeah.
There's a lot we're hoping to do. I don't know if we're going to fit it all in with everything that's going on. We got to try to fit as much in as possible. I'm going batshit crazy right now.
Going.
Yeah, man. I've been locked up too fucking long. I'm starting to hear voices. I am. They're starting to tell me to do some crazy shit too, man.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't find it interesting. I find it very disturbing because when these voices get to arguing, I can't fucking sleep.
You
They
can't
get
stop
pretty
them
loud.
either, can you?
Huh?
Can't stop them either, can you?
No, they won't shut up no matter how hard I try. They don't like to listen to me. See, I'm gonna turn into the next Charles Manson.
No, what I'm saying is interesting. I'm looking at the world map.
The world map.
Yeah. You know, I didn't realize that the Black Sea is landlocked. So is
The
the
black
Caspian.
what?
The Black Sea and the Caspian Sea are landlocked.
No.
Black Sea is landlocked between Turkey, Ukraine, Romania, Bulgaria, Georgia,
Yeah. Wow.
and part of Russia. And the Caspian Sea is mostly bordered by Russia and it's landlocked. Turkmenistan, it's pretty interesting.
Pretty interesting, huh?
Yeah.
See, here's a place I won't go because I'm not too
Mhm.
sure if if it's real or if it's state.
Memorex.
Oh,
What? Where?
the old Baraboo Inn.
Yeah. If it's real or if it's Memorex. Anyway, it's probably getting that time. I gotta fix something to eat. I haven't eaten today.
You haven't eaten today?
No,
Why not?
I just do that every now and then. Well, actually, I have eaten today. I had some corn dogs earlier, like way earlier.
Yeah.
But I got some burgers to fry up. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna make burgers.
I saw. Oh my God! I was watching too much of Triple D today,
Mm,
talking about burgers. They went to there's this place, and I forgot what they called it, but it it started out as the traditional dish that it was or whatever it was, right? And it turned into this thing that has got 1,000+ different combinations of ways to try this. Okay.
yeah.
And basically they set up a platter depending on what it is. Like the original was like they had like a couple of buns toasted just right on the bottom part of the buns. Then they put burgers on top of that. And this is on like the plate that's just big enough to put two burgers on it, almost like a ceramic
Hmm.
rectangle dish. All right. And then they pile up all this stuff on top of it, like a cheese sauce, like an actual homemade cheese sauce, so it gets all gooey. Then they load French fries on top of that, more cheese sauce, then some bacon bits and onions and then they keep going with like even like a chili mix on top of that, but there's no top bun to any of this. You eat the whole mess with a fork. But
Okay.
once you get past that first initial cheese sauce on the burgers, they end up piling French fries on top of that, and then they work on top of the French fries and stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
And and
Interesting.
and they've turned this into things where like, okay, in the morning now it's toast, and now we've got like a sausage gravy over that, more cheese sauce, then yeah. And then it's hash browns instead of French fries on top of that, or the uh, American fries.
Yeah.
The dishes that every time they made a new one, it had my mouth watering because it's like, oh, I want to try that place. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Yeah, we're done. I guess.
We
Did you
might
already? Did you
or
already stop it? No. It still says
no,
live.
we might or might not be back next week. Depends
I
on
don't
Mother
know. We'll
Nature.
see. We'll see what Mother Nature says. If we're going to be out and about, or if we're going to be here
It's gonna snow again tomorrow.
fighting.
Well, that's what the weather said. Ask Google.
Bite me.